And but I decided, you know, to come on down anyway, so that I could tell you all about Bernie Basin Days that we had this weekend. And the big event, something new for Bernie, not new for me, but new for Bernie, was the bear roping contest. And because roping bears, says Uncle Sid, is sure a heap of fun, and a lot more gizzard thrilling than to shoot him with a gun. I roped a big old he when I was young and raw. He must have weighed 500 pounds, and monstrous was his claw. A pert near didn't catch him, or, no, I'm sorry, he'd wandered out upon the flat for cow chip bugs and such. Because you know those grubs and worms, they suit a bear like pretzels suit the Dutch. A pert near didn't catch him, because a bear can split the breeze, and your pony's got a wiggle if he beats him to the trees. But that old roan that I was riding was mighty tough and fleet, and he overhauled that bear, and my loop was quick and neat. It catched him snug around the neck, and when he hit the end, I heard the cinches stiffen, and I felt the saddle bend. My pony, he put on the brakes, and sure enough, he plowed the ground. And I was pretty near wishing that there were a crowd around to watch an old salt like me demonstrate my skill, teaching Master Bear to obey my wit and will. "Hi there, old bear!" I hollered. "You're a wild and woolly scamp, but I'm the apparatus that can bring you into camp." Well, at first I thought the rope would break and I'd lose him if it should. But a minute later, boys, I was wishing to heck it would. That bear reared up, popped his teeth. It was like a pistol crap. Then he grabbed the rope, hand over hand, and came right up the slack. I bellered out and waved my hat to swat him in the eyes, but I tell you, an old he-bear is not an easy critter to surprise. So my pony tried to quit me, but he had a bear in tow, and sitting in the saddle was a load he couldn't throw. He hollered up on his haunches and pawed the upper air, and then he straddled the rope, and then a bush, then a log, and then the bear. And those bear claws and paws and jaws, they nearly had me stunned. The rope was tied up to my horn and it wouldn't come undone. So I figured we fought for about 2 hours till I couldn't see no hope. Till finally the bear, he bit the twine in two and left us on the lope. Yeah, roping bears, sure a heap of fun, and a lot more gizzard thrilling than to shoot them with a gun. It's an old traditional cowboy poem. Instead of doing one by another poet and two by myself, I'm doing two by other poets and another one by myself. Because the more I get into this cowboy poetry, I tell you, the more I find that they have like interesting philosophical insights, like on reincarnation. Right? What is reincarnation? Cowpoke asked his friend. His pal replied, "Oh, that happens when your life reaches its end. You comb your hair and wash your face and cut your fingernails and put you in a padded box away from life's travails. Now, that box in you goes in a hole that's been dug into the ground, because reincarnation starts in when you're planted in a mound. Them clods, they melt away, as does the box, and you who is inside. And then you've just begun your transformation ride. For after a while, the grass will grow upon your rendered mound. And then, sometime upon your moldered grave, a lonely flower is found. Say a big old hoss wanders by and grazes on that flower that once was you, but now has become your vegetative bower. Well, that posy that the hoss done eat, along with his other feed, becomes the muscle, fat, and bone essential to the steed. But some he just can't use. So it passes through, lays upon the ground, this thing that once was you. Now, say by chance, I wanders by, sees this thing upon the ground, and wonders at, and I ponders at this object that I found. And I thinks of reincarnation, and life, and death, and such. Well, it comes away concluding, Slim, I ain't changed all that much. And finally, I transformed one of mine. I'm going to see if I can use it as a cowboy poem. Beyond the realm of time and space, I behold a giant smiling cowboy face, laughing in the sunlight of his love. At either end of the rainbow band, I perceive an old fiddler's hand snapping his fingers in time to the big rodeo dance of life. Look behind any kind of motion, and you soon will find a mind wrapped in the joy of life's sweetheart ball. Dance, sweetheart, dance. Because I gotta say next, who would dare to call it chance? Who would dare to say that matter started from a random splatter? That's all, folks. Thank you.